Chew gum here? Does it have xylitol in it? If it has xylitol, you want to pitch it as far as you can because it's made from corn.
Genetically modified corn.
It's actually made from corn cobs. So that's another one to stay away from. Xylitol is not good. It's just another high fructose corn syrup in a different name. Yes, ma'am.
The original xylitol came from the birch tree, though.
Yes.
And that was
true.
okay. But
That's
now the one from the corn is not from the birch tree.
That's correct.
So you might want to read the label. Sometimes you can find out. I think the birch tree one will probably be more expensive.
It would be more expensive because there's probably a lot less birch trees than corn cobs.
Anne wanted me to mention that most gum has aspartame in it.
Yes. And people don't understand, kids don't understand why they're getting headaches, why they're getting, obese. The parents don't understand why they're getting obese. They think, they're running around, everything. We see kids where we live that are probably 50 pounds overweight and, at 10, 12 years of age. And it's really sad, but the parents are not watching carefully. And, if you have children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, try to educate your kids.
Even people that are informed are not always thinking that if they're going to have these ingredients. Like my daughter, she buys a special gum from Clark's, but it has xylitol. And I was just telling her that yesterday. And because I asked her, I said, do you use xylitol in anything? Do you feed anything to your children that has xylitol? Oh, no, Mom, no. I said, what about chewing gum? Oh, yeah, there's xylitol in the chewing gum. Just little things you wouldn't even expect.
We've got to read labels. And if you have to, get a magnifying glass.
And what is xylitol?
It's made from corn cob, and it is a product that is usually from genetically modified corn.
How about mushroom granules? Mushroom granules.
Mushroom granules.
Mushroom granules.
I've not seen mushroom granules.
Can you tell us about that?
Oh, it's an ingredient and you put it in your cooking.
Like
Seasoning. It's a seasoning.
Yeah, it's some kind of like a food enhancer.
Oh, it is? Is it like MSG or?
Yeah, but in place of MSG, and it contains, it depends, there's some vegetables.
Anything that is hydrolyzed, I think it's hydrolyzed mushroom.
Okay. So that would be another name for MSG, the hydrolyzed mushroom, hydrolyzed anything, hydrolyzed yeast. Okay. We really appreciate you sharing what you know with us too.
This always enhances our
Yeah,
knowledge and we can present it to.
and that mushroom seasoning, it is products that comes from overseas. And we have to be careful in using those food enhancer. It is very tempting to go and buy it in place of, having a good taste of it, but it is very like you mentioned about it, hydrolyzed, and it's in place of monosodium glutamate.
Thank you.
Where does that mushroom come from?
You find in Oriental store.
Okay.
Okay, did you all hear that? That these hydrolyzed products, food enhancers, are found in Oriental markets.
What?
Oriental markets.
I was told that stevia in liquid is the best to take. In powder, the way it's processed, it changed the chemical.
Very good to know. We use a lot of honey. We buy local honey. We buy holy honey. And so we don't use stevia. So this is good to know that we can pass on to others.
was gonna mention the honey. I was gonna
Anything
mention honey.
All right.
Yeah, and also, the black strap molasses. Also black strap molasses, which is good for, like, to build your immune system.
And it's also short iron. Okay, when you get the black strap molasses, be sure you get organic, because otherwise it's genetically modified sugar source. Did you have a question or a comment?
My daughter says that they, shucks, I don't know the name of it again, is.
Are you sure you've had enough water?
I really haven't.
Enough water.
Now that you've mentioned it.
Did you know that your brain shrinks if you don't have enough water? That's a fact.
Oh, really?
I can believe it. I'll think of it in a minute. Oh, garlic. My daughter says I have to get the right kind of garlic, otherwise it comes from China, and it has the stuff that kills you in it.
What's that?
You don't want to buy that one.
Arsenic? Is that what you're
Yes,
thinking of?
arsenic in it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know, rice has arsenic in it too.
So the best thing to do is to grow your own, because then you know, because you don't know when you buy this stuff.
I think we all ought to get together and have a community garden, don't you?
Because this is.
We could grow our own arsenic.
Yes,
Are you familiar with the video Genetic Roulette?
I have seen it. It's a Jeffrey Smith, based on Jeffrey Smith's book,
Is that it?
Genetic Roulette.
She's got some.
I have 35 copies of it here for anyone who's interested.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you.
She's
Sure.
got one for you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
What is it?
Genetic roulette. And this lady in the back has 35 copies.
Are you selling it?
Free.
Oh, I
We need to get more out.
I'll have
So
more.
those will be available after the meeting. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
All right. Pastor, would you have prayer for us?
Sure. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for caring for us and for giving us everything we need for life, for happiness, and for salvation. We thank you for giving us so much good wisdom in your word. Bless us now as we close this meeting and as we go to our separate places. Amen.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Have a safe trip home. Grab some refreshments if you didn't already have some. And we're always looking for more help in the community garden. So we're trying to do mostly heirloom, non-GMO. So we're trying to do our best.